So I just got this Schar's 3-jaw chuck, cheap, about the cheapest chuck I could find. The lathe we have is all worn out, so I figured getting a good chuck for it doesn't make sense. I took it apart just to see what the insides were like, and it doesn't seem too badly made, but it's covered in this gritty, might just look oily on camera, but if you rub it, there's a grit to it, and that's sort of covering all the internal parts. These guys in particular, there's some stuff on the end, and let's see if I can find a big blob of it to show you. This one has a big blob. Oh. There you can kind of see that little spots in there are actually chunks of stuff. So I'm going to put this in the parts washer and clean it up real good, then oil it. So if you get one of these, take it apart and clean it. That stuff can't be good for the longevity of the thing. This part seems to be pretty fine, nice and smooth. Not going to cut myself on it. Some rust spots inside, and in here it's also a little bit gritty. So anyways, I'm going to rinse this off and put it back together and maybe get it on the lathe. I got it all cleaned up in the parts washer, so now I'm going to put it back together again. Got a little bit of whey oil that I'm going to use. I don't know if it's the right oil, but it seems like it should be. Slightly sticky, don't want it to run off. That's spring. So considering there was no oil in this part before, even if this is the wrong stuff, it'll be better than the way it was from the factory. Just notice this, the pinion gears, let me get a pointer. So the pinion gears only engage about 2/3 of the ring gear, because these guys have these gear teeth right here aren't actually doing anything, and these gear teeth up here aren't actually doing anything because of the way it engages. But it spins a whole lot better now that I've gotten the grit out of it and oiled it. Actually turns pretty nice. So this is the original, my first South Bend lathe that I got. It's a 9-inch with a 3-foot bed, and this one had the 6-jaw chuck that's on my South Bend 9 Junior that's in my basement. This lathe and the Monarch are in my dad's workshop. So since I had the 6-jaw chuck, and I liked that chuck, I put that on my other. Needed a chuck for this one, so I got just a cheapo Chinese Schar's chuck. I should have got the 5-inch chuck, but I thought the buck was a 6-inch, but it turns out it was a 5. So this one's a little bit big for this lathe, but it works. It'll work. But a 5-inch would probably fit this better. So I've got it chucked up. I had to turn down the face plate to match the chuck. That's all turned down now. You can see, what's that? 2000s run out, and a lot of that is, I think it was better before. Let's see. It's just slop in the whole spindle because it's not a particularly rigid lathe. But if I turn it carefully, I get, what was it, 1,000th run out? Which isn't too bad considering all the other pieces. You know, this chuck could certainly be running true, and the problem could be in the headstock or whatever. Anyways, so this lathe has not had an easy life. There's a really good step in the ways here. I had to shim up the tailstock so the centers were even close to lining up. If you want to turn anything long, it takes some doing to get it straight. But if you're doing short stuff, it'd work just fine. I'm going to end up selling it. It has a complete set of change gears with it. I have this crappy little quick change tool post that I got for it. Actually says made in the USA, but it's a little small for this lathe. Never really had a problem with it, but it just feels small on there. It's one of the things, I bought it on the internet, and after I got it, opened the box, I'm like, that's a size smaller than I had envisioned. But it seems to work. And then I have the other lantern style tool post. So, but anyways, I'll probably end up selling this lathe.